Okay, we are ready to weave. Let's start with the circle, which again, circles and ovals have the same. I would take off, I usually go with about 4 yards of yarn or 4 yards of thread. The reason that I do 4 is because 4.5 is 2, and that's kind of a doable length. The more you do, the shorter you do, the more quickly you will have to replace your thread. And the longer it is, the easier it is to get tangled. So you just kind of have to come up with what you're comfortable with as a balance between the two. So I usually stick with close 3 to 4 yards. This one's a little bit smaller, so I went ahead and did it smaller. This is a Yorkshire Button Loom, or this is a huck needle or a bent tip needle. There is one in your set. It's usually a bigger one like this. Clover has some that are smaller if you like, but I just included a standard one in there. Okay, remember we had the tape holding it in place. So we're going to bring the tape. Now what we need to do is secure those in the middle. And we just do that by going in and out a couple times just to try and hold it in the middle. So since this is going to come down here, I'm going to go opposite that and go out through the back. Now this isn't mandatory that you do this part, but I think it keeps your center in the middle, and that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, I'm going to try and come up right there. So I'm going to have to make the hole from the back so I can come up right there and go down. Kind of want to go down straight across from it. This is the part where I said you have to be careful about it tangling. Okay, and let's go one more time. Okay, again, this is an optional step, but it will help you keep your weaving in the center. Okay, now I know where those are. Now I can actually come out this time anywhere that I want. But I'm going to choose to start. I like to start where the back one is right here. This was our last one coming down, you can tell, because one is behind and one is in front. And so I'm going to start on this one right here. So I'm going to come out right there. Okay, the stitch that is used most often in Yorkshire Button Looms is called a rounded back stitch. It's called a rounded back stitch because what we're going to do is go back behind this one and come forward. So I'm going to show you how to do one, and then I'm going to show you how I would really do it. Okay, so one is we're on the front side of this one right here. So we're going to go back a stitch and under it. And there's the little line that you see that will line these spokes. Now to do the next one, obviously we have to be on the front side of it. So first we go to the front side. Now again, we're going to go back stitch, but we're going to combine that with the next one. So we're going to go under 2. Okay. The first one, when I go under, it'll make that little rounded back stitch. The second one will get me in position to do the next rounded back stitch. So it just saves a little bit of time there rather than going twice. So you go, okay, so back 1, under 2. You see those little guys? And then I use the tip of my needle here to keep them snug right next to the center right there. Back 1, under 2, and this we will do for the next, on this one, half hour, 45 minutes. When we get to the around, we just keep going, okay? So I'm going to do this until I start to run out of thread, and then we'll talk about what to do when we run out of thread. Things that I would pay attention to as I was doing this, you always want to make sure that you are going under, not through the middle of these threads, that you're going under them completely. If you go through the middle of them, you'll have a hard time sliding it down, and it's not the end of the world, it just isn't nice. That's part of why I choose the huck needles to send to you that I do, is because they aren't sharp enough to go through the threads very well. Can you see that little row right there first starting? The other thing that you could be careful about, because we anchored this with a couple of stitches to begin with, we shouldn't have too much trouble with it. But you can also keep an eye, because if you don't, then as you're first starting here, you tend to pull it more than halfway, and then your center ends up off to the side. I have a few that ended up looking like that. Okay, just under 2, back 1, under 2, back 1, under 2. Keep them snug. This is a great one to do while you're watching a show you've seen before, something where your eyeballs can be somewhere else, but you can just watch it. I was going to turn them into little pin cushions. I put them on, I was making good sized ones, and I put them on little terracotta pots, and they made the most adorable little cactus pin cushions. And I thought, I'm going to make one for everybody who's coming to our retreat. Turns out that it took me 3.5 hours to wind it, because it was the 80 size, I think. That was the first time I'd ever done one that big, and I went, no, I don't know that I like anybody enough for 3.5 hours over and over again. Okay, we are back to where we started, and you just keep going. So I'm going to go under 2, back 1, under 2, back 1, under 2. I don't recall having to pay that close of attention to where your little loop lands. It always lands in close to the right spot. It doesn't, cross over and go under it. So yeah, just keep going. Back 1, under 2, back 1, under 2. Now, how tight do you want these? Just keep them snug. The looser they are here, the more difficult of a time you're going to have with them later. If you're just putting them, is it like a flower, and you're just going to put them flat, then it's not as critical. But if you are going to turn them into a little ball, like this guy right here, then they need to be right next to each other, or they're going to get too much of a gap in between here. All right, I'm going to set this one aside for a minute, and we're going to weave this one. Okay, the centering part on this one is a little bit different because you don't have that center, and so what we have to do is secure these guys in place. So what we are going to do is I'm going to hold it right there. We are going to randomly weave through the wraps at the base 4 or 5 times to secure it. And so I'm going to hang on to, I want to grab that's a little bit tighter on that one. There we go. So I'm just going to take this, and by randomly weave it through, it means we're going to go under, over. We can cut through threads. It doesn't matter. We're just going to weave through there. We need to secure it in place. It's a little bit like what we did with the circle, in that we're just weaving it through to get those to stay. Okay, and let's go under this, over that, under this. I guess we could go back the other way, under that, over there. Let's go all the way under and come out somewhere on that side. Again, 4 or 5 times. You just want to through the middle of these. It's great if you go through the middle of the threads. If not, you need to keep it tight enough to keep them together, enough that they will not fall apart when we take them off. Then we're going to go over to this side. Now, this is the same rounded back stitch, but because we're going back and forth, if you look at your instructions, the rounded back stitch on this one, we'll talk about doing rounded back stitch to the right and rounded back stitch to the left. It's up here. Okay, so let's try this first. Okay, so first we need to go around. Notice that the two together are a spoke. This spoke is by itself, so first we just need to go around that one. So we're going to go, make sure we're on the right side of it, and then we're going to go around it and go under 2. So 1, 2, back 1, under 2, and then back 1, under 2. I'm not using a huck needle because A, I don't have another one sitting here, and B, when I weave back and forth through here, a huck needle is a little bit hard to do that. From this point on, I'd be doing it with a huck needle, but then I'd have to steal it from that other one. Okay, back 1, under 2, back 1, under 2. Okay, let's get our, keep those guys down where they're supposed to be. Back 1, under 2. Back 1, under 2. Back 1, under 2. This first time, and it's the same with going around the circle, the first time you're doing a lot of, okay, everybody, you got to stay where you're supposed to be. Everybody's got to lay where they're supposed to be here. Back 1, under 2. And then because after the first round, they know where they're supposed to be, they're not as hard. Back 1, under 2. And now we are to the end, close. Back 1, under 2, and so I'm going under this one and the last one. And now this is how it will be from here on out for the last one. I will just go over top of it. Go under it one more time, so I've got that round. And then I'm ready to go back the other direction. So I'm going to go, if I go under 2 right here, it's not going to work. So I'm just going to go over top of that one and under the next one to start it. So over top of your outside one and under the next one. And then you can go back to the back 1, under 2. It's just that outside one, and it's going to have the same thing on the other side. So I'll go through it again in just a minute. Okay, my tail is too short. Too long. Back 1, under 2. See how much easier it is to get them to lay where they're supposed to this time. Back 1, under 2. Back 1, under 2. Whoop, sorry. Back 1, under 2. Back 1, under 2. Back 1, under 2. I pull a few of those, tighten them just a little bit. Back 1, under 2. Back 1, under 2, or it's my outside edge. Now you can go around it once. It'll keep you having about the same amount of distance in between. And then we go over top of it and under the first one. Under the first double. Same thing. Back 1, under 2. And we keep doing this until it is full. Okay, so that is the rounded back stitch, and you can do a Yorkshire button loom with just that stitch and nothing else. So I'm going to keep working on these until it's time to trade threads, and then we'll go from there.